Okay. All right. So we're very excited about finishing up February fabulously in the next 4 days, right? Right? Give me a thumbs up. Yes, we're very excited. And going into March. So March, April, May, and June, we call it the Final Four. You know, it's a basketball thing, but it's the Final Four in Mary Kay as well. And more work, more activity, more results, more successes will happen in the next 4 months than in any other time during the year. That's what traditionally we see. So directors are really excited about the Final Four. We're kind of looking towards spring, although some of y'all are still getting snow and stuff like that. But the attitude is just different. I think the attitude becomes very different because, you know, people are just starting to think of spring and it getting warmer and just better weather and stuff like that. And I think that really helps people because I know in cities where they have a lot of darkness, a lot of rain and stuff like that, like Pittsburgh, Seattle and stuff, do y'all know the suicide rates are actually higher in those cities because of the darkness? And so we got to get that influx of that vitamin D in that sun. So I want to talk to you guys tonight about getting your proverbial act together. And I'm going to have Andrea talk in just a second when she's kind of ready. But I want to really stress to you guys to get yourself a cute, fun 3-ring binder. This is not my everyday 3-ring binder. It is so heavy I can't pick it up. It stays on my desk though. It's right here. Never leaves my desk. But I created a smaller one that I can carry with me. And you know, it's funny because a couple of my directors were asking me, how do you work? How do you organize? And so after the first of the year, I thought, I'm really going to track this a little bit better because I've always said the same answer, but that's really not the right answer anymore. I've changed it. And so I started thinking, well, really, I track everything on my phone, but I actually don't. Because I'm like, I really don't. I like a paper printout. I like to print out my calendar each month. And I give a copy to my husband and a copy to my dad. And that way they know where I am and what I'm doing. And every month, of course, I have to reprint them because everything changes on them. And as things do change, I'll just kind of, you know, change it on there. And it's also in my phone so that I have reminders in my phone. But maybe I'm just an old-fashioned girl, but I like having the handheld piece. And so I wanted to kind of draw y'all's attention to a few things that are at JoannaShipe.com, and some of them are on Mary Kay In Touch. But we have lots of fun tracking sheets. And the thing I really want to stress to you guys is to go back to JoannaShipe.com and go under New Consultants. It's at the top of the home page, and look at the new consultant sheets. I encourage everyone to do a seminar year notebook. And these are the divisions in your notebook. And if your director has something like this on her website, or she sends you something like this, I encourage you, follow what she's doing. Just do it. Get yourself organized. Get yourself a 3-ring binder. Get some little tabby things. You can go to Walmart and get the whole kit and caboodle for about $4, okay? And these are the categories I have. Calendars. Actually print off the calendars, okay? Communication from your director, the Mary Kay National Area, or the company. Communications, important emails, letters, cards, whatever, okay? Just important stuff. Current challenges and flyers. What is Mary Kay promoting this month? What are they promoting in the quarter? What are they promoting for the year? Right now, I would have this in that section. Destination Red, and how to track it. You see how I've been tracking it? Okay? That's right here, all right? So I would put that there, the company challenges and flyers. What is the current company challenge? It's always gonna be Star Consultant, right? You should have your Star Consultant picture there, what you're going for, and the Destination Red right now, okay? Hang on, my light's really bright. I'm going blind here. Okay, the next section is Zoom video and conference call notes. Take notes. Now, I put something on Facebook just recently about Zoom video etiquette, and it talked about, you know, don't wander around your house, don't be eating dinner, and, you know, all that kind of stuff. I mean, the main thing is just remember you're being recorded. So, you know, you might want to watch some of the things you do, okay? All right. And if you're taking notes, we know you're taking notes. Keely, I crack you up, don't I? You just get on here just to have a good laugh on Mondays. Okay, very good. All right, marketing notes, marketing. And these would be forms that you use to share a marketing plan. It might be, you know, how to get on Dream Big. It might be Shite Peek into Pink. It might be an actual form. It might be, I mean, there are lots of things out there, lots of marketing plans, things like that. So put some of those in there, have copies. I also like to do sheet protectors. And of course, I don't have one right where I can touch it, but I have sheet protectors. And if I want to have several copies of something, like did you know, or, you know, this is how you go on Shite Pink and Pink and instructions, I'll have them in the sheet protector so I can just hand it to somebody. The new consultant packet, so anything from the new consultant packet you think is important, that'd be another section. Another section would be newsletters. You guys, I put our newsletters on Facebook, and I send it to you through email. If you want a hard copy and you can't download it or whatever, I'll send you a hard copy. But in today's world of not wanting to destroy the trees and all that, I have a hard time mailing it out. I'm sorry, but it's just not in my, that's not in my fun thing to do. So, you know, if you want a hard copy, let me know. I will see what I can do about getting that. I'm just making sure everybody's muted because we're getting some background noise. Okay, so you have your newsletters there. Prizes for me, not for Joanna, prizes for me. So it would be prizes for Keely, prizes for Vicki, prizes for Arlene, okay? Things that possibly your director owes you. We forget. Believe it or not, we're human. A little, just a little human. So track what your director owes you and send her a text or a Boxer and say, I'm so excited that I earned such and such from you. Send it. You know, I like that. When I've had Amy do that. Hey, I know I earned this prize, but I'd rather have this instead. I'm like, okay, I just want y'all to be happy, all right? Product information, new products coming up, information about products we currently have that you need to be studying and know. Prospects, customers, okay? And a great thing to use for your prospects, for your customers, and for your prospective team members is on my website. It's called Team Building Layering Chart. And it can be for customers or future team members. And it has name that you check, uses the product, has been a hostess, is a preferred hostess. That's someone who has been a hostess more than once. Has a team building packet, listened to the marketing plan, attended a guest event, has she been interviewed, and has she given an answer? Check, 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 check. Okay? So that's really good to have too. Another section would be travel, workshops, and conferences. That would be leadership. That would be seminar, career conference, copies of your itineraries, copy of your flights, copy of where you are, what hotel you're going to, anything to do with your travel. And that is really important if you're going to career conference. You would have your confirmation. You would have, and then when you get ready to go on the trip, you open it to that section and you just pull everything out and you put it in a folder. That's what I do. So when I show up at seminar, I've got everything together. I'm not, where's my itinerary for my plane? Where's my hotel stuff? Where's my, you know, schedule at a glance? I've got it all in that section. I pull it out and put it in a folder and I run, okay? Your packing list too, that would go in your travel. And then unit challenges and flyers, for example, you know, are you working on monthly perfect star? That's on our Facebook page. Are you working on that? All the directors in my future area are doing this with the star bars. Star bars are gorgeous, love it. And I bet some of y'all have earned stars for your star bar and you haven't even turned it in. That's like, I did my homework, but I didn't turn it in. I don't know why I'm flunking. I do my homework every day. Oh, I got to turn it in. Huh, imagine that. Okay, and then my last section is personal notes and information. And this is just where stuff I jot down because I want to tell y'all something. One of the best things I ever learned from in a class is just, it was such a great tip. That she said, take your notebook that you're using right now to take notes and go to the very back page. And right at the top, stuff. And while I'm teaching this class today, and while you're going to all your classes and you're going to all the meetings, as things pop in your head, like someone you need to call, something you need to do when you get home, dump it. Dump it on that back page. And that way you can get back into, be all there in that class or that meeting or hearing that speaker. But you know how things just pop in your head? Like I do it in church. I'll be listening to a great sermon and then I'll go, oh man, I forgot this. And so I just, while I'm taking notes for the sermon, I jump to another page, I put it in my notes in my phone, and then I get right back in the sermon. Because it's those distracting things that keep us from being all there. Does that make sense to y'all? Okay, all right. You don't have to do any of this stuff, but it works for me. Then we have, these are on Andrea's website as well, all these income producing activities, tracking those, your IPAs, tracking your weekly schedule sheet. You guys, if you're not doing a weekly schedule and you're not sharing it, your weekly plan sheet, all these great little forms, if you're not scheduling it and being proactive and tracking it, your call log, then that's like getting in your car's all gassed up, your suitcase is packed, you're ready to go, and you just start driving. And your kids go, well, where are we going? And you go, I don't know, but we're making great time. You know, let's have a destination. As a matter of fact, let's make it destination red. But let's have a destination. And so I want Andrea to talk when she's ready. Just give me a thumbs up, honey, when you're ready. Okay. I want her to talk a little bit about how she juggles all this stuff. And then I'm going to give you all an example of someone I'm just working with right now on her schedule. She's a little bit younger. She's not married, didn't have kids yet, that some of y'all can kind of relate to, because some of us don't have kids yet, and some of us are done with our kids. That would be Vicki and I and Sharice. Okay. So, and Amy's like, I'm done with my kids. No, they're still in your house. You're not done with them yet. Okay, good. So you can hear two perspectives, but your challenge this week is going to be to break down a typical week. I know some of y'all have kids. It's like a typical week. And I want you to break that down onto a true weekly plan sheet. Now, it can be the thing that we have, the income producing activity, or the weekly plan sheet that we have on Facebook, or you can just pull the weekly plan sheet off of InTouch. Your challenge is going to be to turn that into your director and be accountable for the time that you're going to be working your business. Because like with this chart I'm working with Sarah Brooks, she's almost 26. She's a school teacher. With what I'm going to go over with her and share with you guys after Andrea speaks, I want to kind of walk you through how I break that down. But Andrea, I am going to unmute you. Oh, you have to unmute yourself, honey. And Andrea, I want you to talk a little bit about how you organized your schedule when you had babies and how you do it now that you have to run kids all over the place. And being a successful director and all that good stuff.
All right, so I went to get a picture because next to my Joe and Andy are my kids. And so I started this business before I had kids. So hopefully you can see their little munchkins there. And when I had kids, and then when I decided I was totally ready to be a Cadillac director, I had to get my stuff in order. And I had to get my stuff in order to earn a car when I was active duty as well. So I really believe that the Mary Kay system was, I learned it from Joe. She learned it from Rena Turbot. I mean, this was what helped me. And I'm not perfect at it. Please don't think that's what I'm saying. But there are some really good things that I can share. I did not write notes. Joe just asked me to talk, and I got to tell you, I'll miss a bunch. I have a feeling I'll probably think of things tonight that I wish I had told you. So maybe in the future, we'll do it again, and I can get more detailed. But what I thought I would share is, of course, a brain book. Joanna says, have it. This is mine with my visuals. So everything she mentioned, I've got mine right here ready to go. And I've got my scripts ready so that no matter where I'm at, I can be calling. And even I sometimes get a little flustered. So having a printed script helps you just to feel calm and confident. And you may not even need it, but just having it there is like that security blanket. But she mentioned the, she mentioned the weekly productivity packet. Now I got this packet from Megan Kalbach, And Megan Kalbeck is a top trip director. She also was the queen of sharing last year. We get to sit and have cocktails with her at Leadership. It is at my website. It is called Knockout, because they're the knockouts, weekly accountability package or something. But we have, I love all the things that she has organized beautifully. We've taught this before. So I encourage you to print those off. What I wanted to tell you is the IPAs and why those are so important. Because when you understand where you get your income, then you can prioritize your time. The moment I went from working to adding Mary Kay, I had to, really get things done in a shorter period of time so I could increase or fit in my Mary Kay. So I had to look at some systems that would be helpful. But also, if nobody's telling you what to do, sometimes it can be hard to know which direction to go. Like, I want to make my office pretty. Do I do that on my hour, or do I make it, just ignore that it's trashed and get outside and meet people, or sit down and just place the phone calls? So you have to prioritize. And that's something throughout life. You constantly have to ask yourself, whoa, what right now is the most important next step? Mm-hmm. So the income producing activities, I'd like to review that once again. I think we oftentimes have to review it daily, because unless you can tell me the 10, you probably don't really know them. So you may say, oh yeah, I know this. But if you can't recite it, then you really don't know it. Mm-hmm. And knowing doesn't matter. It's what are you doing? So this is a great, I did make you one and we shared this, but I found this income producing activity sheet just the other day. Joe, I'll share it with you. Okay. And the bottom line is these are the 10, okay? Number 1, hold a skincare class. And A is the same as 1. B, have a $100 day. C, every 2 makeovers held. D, leadership interview, alone or with your director or DIQ. E, have a guest to a meeting. F, follow up after a marketing call. G, have 5 new contacts or referrals. H, have 2 new bookings. I, 1 new team member. And J, 10 reach outs, or I like to call them dials. So having the attempt means that that's what you can control. These are the things you can control. So if you want to be able to hit that bullseye, people oftentimes say, oh, but I can't work Mary Kay because I need a set income. Well, guess what, you guys? You'll have a set income if you understand what your numbers are. And if you track your numbers, you'll have a better average to then say, I hit the bullseye all the time, but guess what? I don't settle for what they tell me I can have. I can have more. If you have ever felt that way, would you like to learn more about Mary Kay so you can have more? And that's what we get to do as entrepreneurs. So the income producing activities are huge. Now let's just clarify. A consultant part-time is doing 10 of those activities in a week. A consultant full-time.
Wait a minute, say that again, Dre. Say that again.
Okay, a part-time consultant is doing about 10 activities, income-producing activities a week. And forgive me if I say a star day, because we've all, in the Scheidt family, I created a chart that was star day. So it's the same thing, but income-producing activity. If you're a consultant that's full-time, then that would be about 15 activities a week. If you're a consultant that is driving free, so now you're a consultant, but you're in a top management level as a consultant, that's 20 activities a week. And if you are a director or becoming a director, you're looking at 35 activities in a week. Now let's just go back to what happened yesterday in my life. I woke up, I did my son and I do sort of homeschooling. So we did that on Sunday morning. I did also simultaneously, I did a training from 9 to 10:30 for my cruise setter program. So I was very strategic in how I can put something on and then be with Luke. And then we went to church. And after church, I needed a nap. I ate lunch and then I went to a party. I left at 1:30. My party was from 2 until 4 and I got home at 4:30. So from 2 until 4, I held a skincare class. That's 1 IPA. I had over $100 day. I, guest to meeting, follow up after 5 new contacts. I got referrals at that event. I got 2 new bookings because I booked 2 parties using the Deal or No Deal. And then of course, those 2 women that didn't want to host a party still scheduled their second appointment at my girls' night out, because I don't go to you unless you have some friends, but you can come to me at either Wednesday night or Saturday morning. And then I almost had a new team member, but we're going to talk tomorrow. So there's 4 income producing activities that I did during that one party. So that's what we call working full circle. So I did 4 in the span of the 2 hours. So when you're working full circle, you can hit a lot more. Can you see how hitting 10 activities is not going to take a lot of time if you're really being I won't say strategic, but also intelligent with your time? So really understanding the full circle is what will help. Okay, so I'd like to, any questions, Joe, on that before I move on?
No, that was great. And, you know, I think sometimes we forget that if you want to call yourself a Mary Kay businesswoman, you might want to treat it like a business. I'm just saying.
So when I felt like, okay, I'm a new mom, I know I can be a leader that helps my people earn their own cars and really make their Mary Kay business successful for their family. And then for my own goal to dream as a pink Cadillac director, I had to really look hard at what I was resisting. And one thing, if you have studied the basic skills or your strength finders, Mary Kay teaches a lot of that, and I encourage you to go to those training. Mary Kay, actually, it was Sean Keys did a class called Strength Finders, and I am pretty much a freedom and flexibility kind of gal. And so that is what is one of my strengths. I love that about Mary Kay. So when I am designing the perfect life, if I don't have the freedom and the flexibility, I feel cramped and I'm not going to be living my joy. And so bless her heart, even Joanna has to put up with that sometimes with me, because, you know, I have to be able to have freedom, and she will so wisely say, what do you think about this idea? And it's awesome because then I get the freedom to share if I like what we're doing or not. She doesn't just say we're doing this. So in that process, I had to realize that even with freedom and flexibility, you have more freedom when you have structure.
Yes.
And so I'm pulling out, I'd like to share with you my weekly plan sheet. And we can go over this again, but Rena Tarbett and of course Joe taught me to color coordinate. And this is in my new consultant training book. So I'm pulling it out. This is not last week, but this is an example. And this was 1 week a while ago when my kiddos were a little younger. But purple is for me spiritual. So that's the color I use for anything spiritual. Blue is my favorite color. So that's anything that's for me. It's like on here you'll see family time or exercise or something for me, because that's my favorite color. Pink is any kind of Mary Kay education, what we're doing right now. Pink is Mary Kay. Green is money making. So if you're looking at an activity that is a Mary Kay evening or a training, but you can bring a guest, you can turn that pink into a green, and that's what I did. And then black, which I don't have any here, but when I was building my business, black was can't do it, I'm at work, or can't talk about it, whatever that would be, that's a no-go zone. So I created my perfect ideal week. And I encourage you to start there. Start with what would be your ideal week. Now, I would probably say with your current situation, what would be ideal? Not if you could quit your job tomorrow, but that will come. So you first want to start is, okay, what would be an ideal week for me? And then you have that as your ultimate goal. And then from there you say, okay, what's happening this week? Okay, well, and now that my kids are older, we have evening games. And so I would put those kind of things on there. And this is where I put it, what changed was when I put it on the refrigerator. So I put down what I was willing to do. And then I let my husband have a copy. Ooh, I'll never forget the time where we were living in Hawaii, and he knew my goal was to be $500,000. He knew my goal was we would be, earning another Cadillac. And it was after dinner, and I was tired, you guys. I was waking up at 5 to make sure I got all my work done before the kiddos woke up. and then we would do our routine, and we go and exercise and do reading time at Barnes and Nobles, and I'd try to meet people when I was there, and then I'd come back, and then when I wanted to take a nap, when they were taking a nap, I needed to return phone calls or get customer orders together. And so I was tired, and I do nap. Don't get me wrong, I take naps. But I remember after dinner, I went and sat on the couch, and he was watching some news program, and he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm tired. I'm sitting on the couch." He said, "Oh, thought you were supposed to be working." Oh my gosh. I was so mad. I was like, "Don't you tell me what to do." But I didn't say that because I knew that I had asked for his support. And you guys, the hardest thing for somebody who perhaps needed my ego not to be big, or just needed to understand this is a partnership. And if he was going to support me, sometimes that means that it was going to get under my skin. Like when Joanna would call me and say, "Really, that's all you got? Well, don't call me back until you have a new team member." And like, oh, okay, I guess I won't just call and chit chat. I got to call with, I got to be really wanting what I told her I wanted, and to back up my words with action. So I got down, no lie. I pouted. I like stomped downstairs. "See, fine, I'm going to go to work." And the hardest phone call is the first. But here's the deal, you guys. It was 9:10 when he came down that night and said, "Hey, are you ever going to come back to bed?" I was having so much fun because I had gotten into my groove, and I started connecting with women, and, "Oh, wait a minute, this would help you." Or we would talk about their dreams, and whatever I was doing that evening, I was having fun. So sometimes having just a little bit of an accountability. I have 2 more points and I'm going to wrap it up, but let me tell you, Linda Tupin said this, and I shared it this morning with Joanna. I never had family nearby. For those of you who do, what a treat, what a blessing. I have never had that luxury. Now, when my family comes to visit, yes, they will watch the kids, but I had to say, if I want to make this work, I'm going to have to put my butt on the line, because as much as Dave has always been supportive, he was serving our country. He was exhausted when he came home. He did not want to have more on his plate. Now, I know most men don't, but he didn't want me to have to do, he didn't want to have to do dinner. He didn't want to have to do all that stuff. So the deal was, I would make sure that I had dinner planned, but he would come home and then take care of the kids from then on. And I could not always rely on him to be on time, because duty calls or life happens. And Linda Tupin says, and she said this very profoundly, she said, "Ladies, nothing is free. Even if you have a mom or an aunt that's willing to watch your kids, it ain't free. Because if they are sick, if they decide that they're going to go and see an old friend and not watch your kids, if they decide that they're going to give you some kind of an attitude because you're having another party and you were just gone the last 2 nights in a row, and how dare you leave your children because they're a loving person in your life and they like to talk to you like that, it's not free. You can't fire them if they're late, or if they don't show up to work, or if it's preventing you from really being an inspiring and sometimes brave person who has to leave moments, not all the time. I was always there during the day, but I had to leave the babysit or the bedtime routine, the bath routine. I had to do that to reach my goal, but I didn't do it often. I made a choice. Okay. So I should say I didn't have to, but I made a choice to do that because I wanted to help more people. And my husband could not have done great things for our country if he hadn't have left the home. So I don't see that there's too much difference. And so my final thing is that Linda says it's never free. So when I decided I would get a babysitter and I was going to pay her with my sales, I had to really make sure that I was using my time wisely. Mm-hmm. So this is what I want to end with. And it's my, I have a daily sheet. Okay, so I don't know if you can see any of this. Okay, so this is, let me see. My light's a little bit funky. Sorry. Let's see if I can see it this way. Can you see that at all?
Yes.
Okay, so this is where I write down my dials. I haven't done my dials today. And this is where I actually do my 6 most, but obviously I didn't do my 6 most either. So this is just a blank sheet. But on the other side is where I have, sorry, this is it. So I have my time of everything that I'm doing for the day. And it goes off my iPhone. So I'm an iPhone girl, but I still like to have a daily organizational sheet. So I'll post this, but this is just more like my style. Okay, so you can create your own, but you can use what Megan has in the weekly accountability package. So what I want to share with you is I write down all the little things that I'm doing every 30 minutes to figure out where am I wasting time? What system could be tweaked? Am I trying to do the laundry when maybe I could reconsider doing the laundry when I'm doing my booking calls, because then it's going, I can be doing my calls, so I'm using that time more wisely. Could I do a crock pot meal when I'm doing my training calls so that the family can still have their dinner, but it's not something I'm chopping and cooking right now? So you start to look at where can you tweak things? What can you do a little bit more efficiently? The setup of your house. And that leads me to your book. So one final tip I'll give you today is I have a 1 through 31. And this has been a great way for me to stay organized because it got very, very busy, and it gets busy when you have community service and church activities and such. So I have an appointment worksheet. So every single time I have a facial or an appointment, I have one of these made up for that client. And then I would put it on the day that we're having the appointment. Except if I have some coaching that needs to happen, let's just say this is a party for the 17th. I booked a party for the 17th. I could put this in under 17, but today is the 25th. So I'm like 3 weeks out. I don't want to forget about this party. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in, let's see, today's the 25th. I need to talk to her 1 week from now. So that's going to be March, is that 4th?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to put it under 4. So when I come in for the day and I turn to see who do I need to call and coach, this piece of paper saying, oh yeah, this is an appointment that's coming up on the 17th. I don't think I've touched base with her about her guest list or about what she's excited to earn for free. And does she really understand the hostess program? So the 1 through 31 helped me keep track of these women and what I need to do in my week and in my month. Now, of course, we have such digital things, but I'll tell you, you can get lost with some of our papers. Mm-hmm. So that is the last thing I want to give you for today, just to hopefully help you see where taking your purple, I use this for recruiting, and I say, what do you want more of? Oh, I'd love more family time. If you could have this kind of blue, which is all family time, would you seriously be open to letting me tell you about our Mary Kay business and how it can work into your life? Like, this is how I recruit, because it shows last week and how much money I made for my WAS, my WAS, weekly accomplishment sheet. And it can help somebody see how they can fit it in because you have just showed them with visuals. Okay.
And that is excellent, especially for a busy mom. I love that. It makes me feel like I have so much more time than you do. Oh my gosh. And Andrea, I had forgotten about the 1 through 31 and putting those, I call that a drop file.
Yeah.
Y'all know what a drop file is, where you have like a slot thing, and I used to do that with bills, but now I have reminders that pop up on Quicken, but I would put my bills 1 through 31 in my drop file. But that was, I'm doing that tonight. I'm putting that together as soon as I get home. Okay. So snaps to Andrea. Y'all, let's give a little affirmation there. Was that awesome? And Andrea is tracking the cruise as well as Sharice. And before I move on, I've got probably 4 more minutes worth of things I want to throw at y'all. I do want to recognize Vicki Starwalt. Yay! Brand new red jacket! Woo! Yay! And we celebrated her on our Facebook page, but we're so excited for her. And she's working for her cruise, and her director, Sharice, is working for her cruise. And it all just flows together. It really does. It just flows together. So that's so beautiful. I'm so excited. Okay, so there are 2 things that I want to encourage you guys to find in my welcome packet. One is called 30 People to Launch My Business. And even if you're not launching your business be launched and be out to sea, okay? But I like the launching theme because it goes with the nautical. So I would say just to launch your business as of March 1st and start making the calls in the next 3 days to just have a killer March, April, May, and June. Name, sell, appointment date, guess, and did you cross-confirm them? Very quickly, I want to tell y'all, because some of y'all are new, what is cross-confirmation? Cross-confirmation is just where you cross-confirm them. And you make sure your hostess has talked to her guest and that you've talked to her guest and everybody's confirmed. It's all done, pre-profiling, everything. And then if you want your director to cross-confirm her as well, what I do for people is, let's say Keely's having a party and Amy, you are her hostess. So Keely's is the consultant having the party. Okay, she's going to be the consultant. Amy's the hostess. So I would call Amy and say, hey, Amy, and she will not answer. I think I've had one person answer in 10 years. So I just say, hey, Amy, you don't know me and you don't need to return my call, but this is Joanna Scheidt, and I am a Mary Kay girlfriend of Keely. And I just want to thank you as one of her girlfriends and Mary Kay for booking and scheduling your party for this Saturday, because you don't even know what a rock star she is. And she can't tell you, but I just want to let you know that she is a Mary Kay rock star. You're going to have so much fun. And just as one of her girlfriends in Mary Kay, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for helping promote and support her business. Just thank you so much, and you have an amazing day. Any party I've ever cross-confirmed, they have never canceled. Because, and I don't call and say I'm her director, because now I look like her boss or something. I just say, I'm a sister consultant. We're Mary Kay girlfriends. I know her through Mary Kay, whatever. And you just put that relevance in there. I mean, Amy, would you just be like, you'd listen to that message and go, wow, it's cross confirmation. You're cross confirming. So it's a lot of fun. And you can do it for each other. Your director can do it for you. It's a quick, simple, it's a 30-second phone call because they never answer. If they do answer, I just say, hey, just real quick, I just want to thank you for scheduling your party with Amy. I am with Keely. Amy, I'm one of Keely's Mary Kay girlfriends. We know each other through our meeting, and she was talking about you and how excited she is for your party Saturday. I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for supporting her business. We just really appreciate you. Bam, drop the mic. Okay, next thing I want to talk to you guys about, last but not least, all these different tracking things that are in my welcome packet. That's in Sharice's and Andrea's, Linda Meets, Terry Skills, all these great organizational tools. They do you no good until you actually put them into order and start doing it. I actually added on my sheet that I'm going to have in my new consultant packet that I will be changing as soon as we finish and I get home from my appointment. I will be adding scripts and IPAs to the notebook. So we all learn, and you'll tweak things and you'll change it and you'll see what works for you and what doesn't. But, you know, be open to doing it, okay? Ideas without activity are ideas, okay? And last but certainly not least, on my website, there's something called 83 Days to Directorship. And I love this because right now you actually have 125 days to be able to finish by June 30th. And I know that some of y'all are like, Joanna, directorship is not my goal. I have a full-time job. I've got full-time family. I've got full-time everything else. You know what? I dare you. I double dog dare you. I triple dog dare you. What's more than triple? I quadruple dog dare you. Okay? What's next? Arlene, what would we say next? I don't know. I quadruple dog dare you. Do this activity and track it for 2 weeks. Just for 2 weeks. Just do it. Do what you're supposed to do every day. Put it in your drop file, like Andrea was talking about, and just do the activity and see what happens. You might be looking for your hat to go on your cruise very quickly. You might be having the phone call from the company that is awesome when they say, have you picked out your quota sharing jewelry? Have you picked out your quota sales jewelry? Have you picked out your $500,000 ring? You might get the call from the company that says, congratulations, you're on target for your Mary Kay car, or you've just finished earning your Mary Kay car. We want to ask you, you know, about your insurance. We want to, and you're like, oh my word, oh my word, oh my word. I quadruple dog dare you to just do the activity. And I was going to go through this whole schedule thing that I devised for Sarah, but I don't want to keep y'all any later, because my goal is really that all the way on the East Coast that you would be able to have family time or Mary Kay time, all the way to the West Coast where Andrea is, just to have some time to have that family time and then have appointments. But, you know, I can tell you just real quickly what I did with Sarah Brooks's schedule is, you know, she said she teaches school. She's at school from 7:10 to 2:10 every day. Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, she has practice from 2:30 to 4, and then she's done because she's also a coach. And on games, she has games Monday and Wednesday. And what I did was I broke all that down into a weekly plan sheet, and then I slipped in when she can make her phone calls, when she can work on cross-confirming her parties, when she can pre-profile her guests, when she can actually hold appointments, what days she can hold appointments. And I've actually worked in her small group time, which is on Monday nights, her church time, which is on Sundays, and small group is also church time, when she can go out and have parties, like 26-year-old girl parties, not Mary Kay parties, but, you know, she's 26 and single, and she's adorable. Go live your life. And, you know, the fact that she can have a life and work this business, and at the age of 26, before she gets married, before she has kids, before she has all those responsibilities, look how much you can do. Because Andrea said it this morning, you must work while you can. Remember saying that, Andrea?
Yeah.
Can you go back over that? Those were such profound words.
Sure. Okay. So, if you don't know TD Jakes, he is, wow, what a powerful pastor. He actually started with, long story short, is Perry Tyler. Perry Tyler and TD Jakes were doing a play together. That's sort of how they both got started. So he was a speaker for Stephen Furtick, which is Joanna's former church, Elevation Church in North Carolina. And I recommend you find this. It might be YouTube, but at Elevation Church, you can find the interview that TD Jakes shared. And he said, it is biblical that you work hard during the day so that you could reap the benefit at night. And he said, it is absolutely the same. If you're not working hard when you're young, you are setting yourself up for such a disastrous future, because when you get older, as I'm finding my healthy body and everything is starting to just, joints are hurting, and I don't have the same kind of ability to spring into action that I used to. And I'm young, but it happens. And so work while you're young, work while you can, because this business will help take care of you while you can't.
And youthfulness, y'all, young is 65, 70. Work while you can. Because I can tell you from personal experience, when we had, you know, all the stuff happening with my mom and her stroke and me going back and forth, and all the stuff that we had, the challenges we had, you know, moving them here and then moving her into a home, and when she passed away and all of that, I was able to put Mary Kay down and focus on family, because the business was running itself. Not as well as if I had been right there on top of it, but the business will run itself. And when I went through my divorce, Andrea was really working. She was earning her car. She was going into directorship, all of that. And her working, what I poured into her, and then I moved to Atlanta and left her in Fayetteville, that work that I poured into her, she continued trying to go, you know, achieving her dreams and going for her goals. And she carried our unit for a good 6 months while I was in divorce recovery. And looking back, I kind of felt like I was still working Mary Kay, but I was licking my wounds and I was in recovery. And her production is what kept us a strong unit. And so while I was in recovery, she was working, and that momentum carried us with the work I had done to build the unit up until that point. And then as I was healing, she became an offspring director and I was ready to carry on. Y'all, God has amazing plans for us. And sometimes we're like, why is this happening? And why is this happening now? And what's going on? And I look back and I realize that her coming into my life at that time and coming into my business and just becoming this dynamo and just carrying all this amazing momentum is what kept us on a wave when I needed time away and I needed to take care of my kids and I needed to recover. And so, you know, that's what this is all about, is working when you can, so that when things happen, you're not like, oh my gosh, I can't go to work today, I'm not gonna get paid. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna get fired from my job because I have to stay home with my child. I was gonna have Amy talk about her objections, but we'll talk about that next week. But you know, if you've ever heard Amy Pa's story, talk about working while you can and then having things still be happening in your business when you're going through the worst disaster any mother could ever imagine. So we'll let her tell her story sometime. We'll all make sure no one wears mascara and have lots of these on hand. But it's a beautiful story. It's a beautiful story of work and achievement and loss and living through that loss and surviving and thriving. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And I know, Arlene, you're like nodding your head going, that's my girl. And you were there for her as well. But I want to encourage y'all to do your weekly plan sheet. If you want to go on our Facebook page, it's under files. I kind of walked through it if you want to go back and watch the video later. But, you know, do that. Turn it into your director and be honest. If you need an hour a day to watch TV and wind down with your husband or your family or kids, put it on there. I'm not going to go, what? You're watching TV? It's like, I know so many directors that don't want to tell their units if they're going on vacation. I'm like, why not? Andrea convinced me of that. She's like, they need to know you're on vacation. You take vacation. You do not work Mary Kay 24/7. So, you know, I think it's so important that you're honest on these sheets. And then we'll find pockets of time and when you can be organized and when you can work on things and when you can have your IPAs and when you can have your time for you, because that's the beauty of this business. You can do this. You can do 83 days to directorship. Your life may not be in perfect balance during that time, but the payoff will be worth it. And then you can go back into that balance. There are certain times you're going to be out of balance, certain times you're in balance. But our goal is to always come back to that set point of having that balance. And the way you get it is you write it down, you track it, you put it out for your family, you let them know when you're working, when you're not. I don't care if your family is 2 Great Danes. You put it out there because it's accountability. It's accountability. Okay? All right. That is it. Wow. So much for our 15-minute meeting. That hasn't happened yet. I know Debbie Walters just laughing. She says, you always say it's only going to be 15 minutes and we're on for an hour. Well, it's okay. It's my ballpark and that's how I'm playing ball right now. But did y'all learn something tonight? Did you learn something tonight? Okay, who got their 10 objections besides Amy Pa in the past week? Well, Amy, you just won another prize. She's like, hip, hip. So I will mail those out first thing in the morning, I promise you. All right, so you guys, what is your challenge of the week? Who, raise your hand, who knows the challenge of the week? Okay, Joan, I'm gonna call on you, sweet pea.
All right, we're to send you our weekly plan sheet.
Very good. And are you to be honest or to just make me feel like you're working Mary Kay all the time?
Honest.
Thank you. Okay. All right. I love you guys. You are phenomenal. And if you're watching this video, let me know you're watching it so I can love you too. But thank you so much for your time and attention and your commitment to excellence. And Vicki, congratulations again. Congratulations, Adajani. Congratulations, who else has made Red Jacket? Desiree Tantillo. And congratulations, Jules. And congratulations, who's in their Red Jacket right now? Besides Vicki. All right. We got a lot of people who have room to grow. Love you guys. On 3, we're all going to say bye, y'all. 1, 2, 3.